Ukrainian President Zelensky had a rather intense tour of European capitals in the last few days: Rome, Berlin, Paris and London. His goals were to agree to more weapon deliveries, but also to get a clear commitment from those governments about Ukraine's European perspective. DW's Thomas Sparrow in Berlin joins us with more. Hi, Thomas. Now, what was the background of this tour and what was achieved?
Essentially, what Mr. Zelensky wanted on the short term by visiting these different European capitals was to secure more military help for his country in the war against Russia. And that is something that he achieved, for example, here in Germany. Ahead of the visit, the German government announced a 2.7 billion euro package for Ukraine, described as the biggest military package yet that the German government has offered Ukraine. That was, at least on the short term, the goal that Mr. Zelensky wanted to achieve by visiting several European countries. But the sort of longer goal that he was also clear to express was that idea that Ukraine belongs to the European community, to the European family. And that was evident also, by the way, when he received in the city of Aachen in Western Germany the Charlemagne Prize, which is one of the most important prizes for European unity. And that was something that was clear when he received that prize, that he sees his country as part of the European family, and he wanted some reassurances from European governments that that is also the case. He got the reassurances, but what's not clear yet is how those reassurances will be able to be implemented. So in other words, how long it will take for Ukraine to actually be part of the European family, in particular of the European Union, but also of NATO, the transatlantic alliance.
Now, will the new weapons deliveries make a difference in the war? And what about the issue of fighter jets?
It's important that you ask this because, at least from the Ukrainian perspective and also the German perspective, by the way, it is possible that these new weapons deliveries could make a difference. But from the Ukrainian perspective, what really would make a difference, especially considering what could happen in the next few weeks or months in the war, is the delivery of fighter jets. And in this particular case, European governments and also the United States do not necessarily see eye to eye. There are different views on whether they should deliver fighter jets, for example, F-16s. Ukraine would certainly want those deliveries, but there are concerns in European capitals that delivering fighter jets could actually make the war more difficult to resolve. It could make things more difficult on the battlefield. So those are discussions that are being carried out at a European level, and it's being described as a sort of push for a fighter jet coalition. It is unclear when or if that could happen, but that's at least what the Ukrainian government would want, for European capitals, for the United States to deliver fighter jets for Ukraine to make a difference in the battlefield.
Now, just tell us more about what people in these European countries think about the weapons deliveries. Do they support the idea? And what are they saying about an end to them?
If you look, for example, at what's happening here in Germany, there doesn't seem to be a clear majority as to whether these weapons deliveries are good. Many Germans do see that, but there's also a considerable segment of the population that look at this very skeptically, that believe that weapons deliveries could make things more difficult on the battlefield, could actually make the war more intense of helping to resolve issues. And that goes hand in hand with other stats that have been published, where actually, in this case, a majority of Germans would want the German government and other European governments as well to make more efforts on the diplomatic front to make sure that the war could end. Now, Volodymyr Zelensky did stress when he came to Germany that his idea is that the war could end this year. But there are questions indeed coming from different places, including here in Germany, as to that would be achievable, especially considering that idea that more weapons are needed and even more that fighter jets could be the next step in that direction in the war in Ukraine.
Thank you, Thomas. That's DW's Thomas Sparrow joining us from Berlin, giving us some more perspectives to the tour of Ukraine's president in the European region. You're watching Pulse with me, Bernice Abubedu Lansa. There's more to come shortly. Just gone by, we brought you a quick update